I don't wanna be your friend. What does it matter in the end? I want a little bit of lightning. No, I don't wanna be your friend. 'Cause these feelings are violent. This love's a heart attack. This love's a heart attack. This love's a heart attack. See, I've been patient, but I won't follow. 'Cause I don't wanna be your friend. What does it matter if it ends? I want a little bit of lightning. No, I don't wanna be your friend. I want a little bit of lightning. No, I don't wanna be your friend. I want a little bit of lightning. What does it matter if it ends? But I don't wanna live in silence. What does it matter in the end? I want a little bit of lightning. No, I don't wanna be a friend. Because these feelings are violent. What does it matter in the end? This love's a heart attack. 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 And I won't go back. This love's a heart attack. This love's a heart attack.
Do you want to try fixing the speaker view or fixing?
Yes, I will reclaim host to see if that helps. All right, speaker view, okay. And so I'm gonna mute myself. After I do that, Joel, can you just say some words for me?
Sure. Test, test, test.
Awesome. All right, go ahead and start sharing your screen again. I believe we fixed it. Thank you everyone for your patience. We are still waiting on a few judges, so we're in good shape.
I think it went back to her face.
Angel, go ahead and start sharing your screen.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Okay.
Hey, Joel and Angel, just for awareness, we're still waiting on the judges to join us. But if you want, because we are live on YouTube, to say hi to the people there, because we're just waiting for them.
Way to say, what was that again? Sorry. Say hi to the people on
No,
YouTube.
right, so I was just saying that we're just waiting for our judges to join us, but we are live on YouTube. So if either you or Joel want to say hi to the folks out there and just let them know we're waiting for our judges.
All right. So welcome everyone. Welcome to the Central State SARE Community Showcase. Let us know in the chat if you're here to see one of your participants specifically. Maybe you're from SARE. Everyone from SARE was invited. So let us know where you're watching from. Let us know who you're excited to see. And while we wait for judges to get started.
I apologize. We have one more judge. Our judges are here. Thank you, judges. Okay, I think we can go ahead and get started. We have most of our judges, and I want to make sure you all have sufficient amount of time to get to each of your pitches. Okay, does that work,
Right.
Angel, Joel?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, welcome everybody. Good afternoon. This is the Central State SARE Virtual App Showcase. I'm glad that everyone could join us, everyone on the YouTube Live. Thank you to the judges for taking the time. I'm excited to see what you guys think of our apps. Just how excited I am for you guys to see them. So you can go to the next slide. Just a couple attendee engagement features for the Zoom people. You can use the participant buttons to check to see if you have a question or anything like that. And then the main feature we want to highlight is the chat feature, and this goes for the YouTube Live people as well as the Zoom people. So we want you guys to leverage the chat feature to ask questions during the Q&A portions of each pitch. Next slide. Other way. Okay, so first off, we want to let everyone introduce each other in chat so everyone gets to know each other. So if I could have everyone type their name, school, or organization, because I know we have some people who aren't related to a school, and your experience with coding. This could be how many years you've been coding, maybe if you've ever worked on an app before, or maybe you just enjoy apps. That's experience with coding. You enjoy what coding brings to us. So if I could have everyone type that out. And while you guys are doing that, I think I'll take the time out to just introduce myself. So I'm Joel Reyes. I'm a youth mentor at Central State SARE, and I'm also the lead instructor for the Everyone Can Code program. I'm also a student of computer science at DePaul University. And then I'll hand it over to my co-host, Angel.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Angel Hernandez, and I am the coding coach for Central State SARE. I work with One Summer Chicago, and I was happily assigned to Central State SARE, and I'm happy that I'm with Central State SARE on top of that. And I am currently a student in astrophysics at College of DuPage. And I dabble in computer coding because I kind of need it for my studies. And I'm seeing some good things in the chat.
Yeah, we got a wide array of different experiences and stuff.
And you know, the students as well, you know, please.
Yeah, I'm sure the judges are interested in the students' experience with coding. I see a couple of SARE people in the chat. Hi, Delilah. Hey, Pete. How's it going?
Hi, everyone from Central State SARE. It's because I have like 3 monitors going right now. You ready to move on?
Yeah, let's move on. So just to go over an agenda really quick. So we're gonna go over some virtual norms. Then we'll get into the actual app fair. We have 5 groups that are going to be pitching an app today. And then we'll just leave off with some closing statements. So just some reminders. If your screen name is not your real name, we ask that you update it so everyone can see just who is asking questions in the chat. Again, be mindful of your mic. We would ask that just the speakers have their mics turned on when they're doing their pitches. Share your video camera. You know, we want to attach a face to the name, so we would love to see everyone. And again, leverage the chat features. So during the Q&A, we ask that you guys ask as many questions as you can. And we'll use the chat to kind of facilitate these questions. So please use the chat to ask questions. And as a reminder, today's program is being recorded and is live on YouTube Live. So just going over the structure of the app fair, each presenter will have 3 minutes to demo their app, which is also a pitch. And then there will be 2 minutes after each pitch to respond to questions. So we invite participants to leverage the chat to send questions and comments during the pitches. And I'll be the facilitator for these questions. So without further ado, I think we should get started. So our first group is Election Guide, and I'll hand that over to their group whenever you guys are ready.
Good afternoon. My name is Maria, and I'm part of the group called The Guides, which consists of Michelle, Brenda, and Daniela. So I'm going to show you how the app works and how it looks. So this is the first page, and first you're going to see 2 definitions on what a Republican is and what a Democrat is. And then at the bottom, you get 3 buttons, which you can click to navigate through the app. When you click the home button, this is the screen you're gonna see. And first you're gonna see the presidents. And at the bottom, you're gonna get a tab, which you can use to navigate through the different candidates running, voting locations, and voting options. This is how all the candidate screens are gonna look. And the way it's gonna work is that once you pick the candidate you wanna learn about, you're gonna click their name. And that's going to take you to a page, which is going to be color-coded with information about them, what party they're on for, and an extra website that you can visit. And now I'm going to send it over to Michelle.
So this is the locations page, which is a map of all the locations where voting polls are located with the address attached to it. And this is a voting options page, which allows the user to see 3 different voting options: voting on election day, absentee voting, and early voting, with a description and a link to a website with more information. And this is the quiz page. As you can see, there's a start page and a results page along with a few example questions right now. This quiz will help the user decide which party they would rather vote for if they don't already know. And now Brenda will talk about why our app is unique.
So our app is unique because our information is guaranteed that it will not be biased, and our app is all ages friendly for the reason that it is very easy to navigate. It is important to note that other apps on the market, for example, political app, only have the feature of including information about the candidates and about the elections. And it also has a feature that allows the public to rate the candidates on a 5-star scale, which ultimately create bias. Allow me to remind you that our app includes more than just 2 features. Daniela?
Although our app is already unique compared to others, we are hoping to focus countrywide and not just Chicago. And we hope to include more political parties to bring recognition to them since we are not biased. Another feature we would like to include is being able to get an accurate API code to pin all voting locations instead of hard coding them like we did in our app. Our app has many features to better guide you during these stressful election times. Go get our app now.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. We can start the timer on the slideshow. So now we'll open up to any questions in the chat. So either in the Zoom or in the YouTube Live.
I have a question for you all. Well, first I'll say I think that you guys did a great job. I've been impressed all day by what you all find important and what you're deciding to do about it. So this is an important one, and I commend you for doing that. A couple of the questions I have for you, well, feedback, and then I have one question. So I really think in the beginning, how you started with the option to choose one party or another, I think that that was awesome. I just want you to think about considering including other parties. So that, and that quiz that you had that you talked about at the end, if that was something that was up front, that could help kind of guide throughout the app experience. But I think it's important that you kind of had the questions to help guide them to which party to vote for. I think that was smart. And I also, it was really great that you all included that part about having voting options. So showing that there's more than one way, especially now due to polling in person, how that may be limited due to COVID. But really good job, I enjoyed it. Awesome idea.
So we have Natalie in the chat asking, who is your target population?
This app could be used for voters that are voting now or first-time voters, but primarily first-time voters, because it'll help them decide what they need to do better, and like it gives them a description of what steps they need to take.
And then Sarah asks, are you considering more technical solution to make it easier to get more content on local elections? I think she's alluding to APIs.
Oh, if it's APIs, yes, we are planning on doing that. Reason we hard-coded was because we did face some troubles, but hopefully in the future, our app will eventually have an API code that pins all voting locations in Chicago.
Now we're going to move on to our next group, and our next group is the pothole preventer.
All right. So good afternoon. My name is Mauricio.
I'm Caesar.
And I'm Rodrigo.
And so we all know that Chicago is notorious for its potholes. Many people don't like the idea of driving into these holes and having their vehicles being possibly damaged because of it. Well, do we have the app for you? The app we are developing can help drivers all over Chicago save hundreds of dollars each year. TPHP, short for the Pothole Preventer, is an app that will allow you to pin your location and scan the area around you to check for potholes. Depending on how severe the potholes are, the streets will be color coded accordingly.
Yeah, so when you first enter the app, you're taken here to the main screen, and here you're shown a couple of details. So for example, you're shown the logo of our app, TPHP, and just under that, you're shown two buttons. The button on the left says go to map, and the button on the right says report. And just under that, we have a key, but we refer to it here as a legend. So for example, a street color-coded in green represents 1 to 3 potholes. A street color-coded in yellow represents 4 to 6 potholes. And a street color-coded in red represents 7 to 10 or more potholes.
So when you press the Go to Map button, you'll be taken to the map screen. Here, you'll be able to pin pothole locations and highlight the streets according to the legend. Highlighted in green to signify that there's 1 or 3 potholes, yellow 4 to 6 potholes, or red for 7 to 10 or more potholes in the street. For example, here in the map view, you can see that there's a pin that states that there's 16 potholes in the street. It's highlighted in red to signify that there are more than 10 potholes in the street. Then from the main screen, when you press the report button, you'll be taken to the report screen. Here, you'll be able to report the potholes that have been pinned or haven't been pinned yet. These will be going to the CDOT crews who are involved in fixing the streets and the potholes. They're the ones that will be notified via email about the potholes that need to be fixed. Another feature that we hope to add in the future is for the app to notify the driver that there is a pothole nearby. It will read the notification out loud so that the driver doesn't have to look at the phone. Instead, they will just keep their eyes on the street and focus for the pothole in order to prevent any damage to their car. Thank you. You guys have any questions?
All right, awesome. We have one comment saying, I like how you started with a personal relatable story and very smart idea about the color-coded map. Sarah asks, are you considering adding navigation to route around potholes?
Yes, we're considering it. Just the fact that most of our lack of experience, so we mostly hard-coded some of the highlighted streets. But yes, we do plan on putting navigation to it and hopefully maybe as an extension to Google Maps in the future.
Okay, awesome. Any other questions? Natalie asks, what other features would you add if you had more time and resources?
I can answer that one. So something that can be definitely considered is as soon as we add a street on the table view, that pin will automatically be added to the map view. It's something that we don't have connected yet because of our lack of experience, but it's something that should definitely be considered.
And also, if any judges would like to unmute themselves and make any comments now, we welcome that as well.
Yeah, one quick question that I had too is like, so this would be great for drivers to help them like avoid like, you know, specific streets or ruining a rim or a tire. Do you envision that like government services like road repair or something like that could use an app like this as well? And are there any like specific things you would do to make the app more of a friendly use app for companies like those?
Yes. So far right now, we just had it intentionally for like the drivers themselves. But yes, as we expand, we do hope to like reach it for like government officials, people for that nature who want to have their own use for it, and of course update it. If there are any things that people want to add to it, they'll make it more useful, more beneficial for people all around, not only US, but like around the world. We will add those features if possible. I hope that answers your question.
All right, great. So now we want to move on to our third group, which is the Notify Me app. So I'll hand it off to you guys whenever you're ready.
All right, everyone. Hello, my name is Julian Gonzalez,
And my name is Aiden Calderon.
and this is our app, Notify Me, the adaptable subscription manager app. Now, what is Notify Me? Notify Me is a useful, straightforward, adaptable, and efficient subscription app where you can put all your subscriptions in one area, so that way you can manage and keep track of them. And we understand that your subscriptions are going to accumulate, and you're probably going to lose track of one, and it'll eat away at your wallet. Now, we know that Notify Me isn't the first of its kind, and it's not going to be the last. So, something to help it stand out is its compatibility. While doing research about apps of this genre, we found that people weren't really happy when they weren't able to add certain kinds of subscriptions. They were really disappointed when they had the odd one out, and understandably so, since you had all these subscriptions in one app, and then now you have one in the back of your mind, which you're probably going to forget about, and that's never a good thing. Number two is Notify Me's ability to forward info to others.
Some features that our competitors lack that we have or plan to implement in our app is synchronization across users sharing the same subscriptions. So if you and another person share some of the same subscriptions, then you'll be able to manage them together through the app. We also offer a more variety of subscriptions to add. These apps can be filtered in the subscription selection screen by use for easier navigation.
Next, let's take a look at Notify Me's current UI. On top, you'll see two text fields, one that says Verizon, and on the right of it, you will see $9.99. Below are your subscriptions, and always on the left, you will see your subscription's name, and always on the right, you will see your subscription's expense. Now let's take a look at our app in action. All right, now I'd like to take a little look at the screen you're looking at right now. What you're seeing is your payment due, the amount that's due, and the next payment that's due. That's so that you're always in the loop and you're never out of it, because you don't want a surprise expense coming at you and you being unexpected for it. Next is Notify Me's final UI, something that we hope to accomplish in the future.
Notify Me's UI has been designed for a more simple and productive workflow for a day-to-day basis. This makes it easier to keep track of recent payments and upcoming payments with only checking one app. It also makes it easier to add new subscriptions to your catalog. Some of our main competitors are Truebill and Subscription Manager.
And this is our app, Notify Me. Any questions?
I had a question. Yeah, so first off, I really liked the concept considering I think our future is gonna look like this where we are just trying to manage like so many different subscription services. This might be more of a suggestion, but maybe you all seem to be focusing on like media subscriptions like Hulu and Netflix, but could you consider something where there were like categories, like people have certain delivery subscription services, music subscription services. So like, could you consider like maybe adding categories to that?
Of course, because that's the main premise of our app, because we don't want somebody to have a subscription out of mind. We hope to be all purpose.
Thank you.
So Sarah asks, on the ad subscriptions, are there deals that you will help enable based on connections with the subscription service? So maybe through using your app, there could be a deal for a specific subscription service.
A deal. Can you please rephrase the question? I think I'm a little confused.
I don't know if Sarah wants to rephrase it.
Yeah, I can ask. I was asked, would it be a lower price by adding the subscription? Is it that I could subscribe to a service through there, or is it I've already subscribed and I add it? And if it's I can subscribe, would I get a lower price through you?
It probably wouldn't be for every subscription, but probably for the big ones, like maybe Hulu or Netflix. But if it's something like Jewel Osco or something, I don't know if that would fare very well.
What other, in your research, what other apps did you find that were like similar to this? And how did you like purposefully try to distinguish yours?
So we found that a lot of the apps are pretty similar in like the basic terms. So like they all have the basics. So it's all the subscriptions, and then it will give you notifications, like push notifications whenever they're due. But some of them, we looked through the comments and the reviews to see what they didn't like about the apps, and we kind of used that to implement some of the features that they would have wanted in that app, but put it into our app. So one of the examples was the synchronization across users. So it's kind of like a hyperlink, so you can send someone else. So you have the same subscriptions, and you'll be able to share the subscriptions and manage them together.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys. So next we'll move on to our fourth group, which is gentrification education. So I'll throw it over to them when they're ready.
All right, ready.
So the name of our app is called Gentrification Education by Jacqueline,
Jose,
and Vincent.
We made this app because Chicago is one of the most segregated cities in the country. And one of the leading factors of this is because of gentrification. It's been pushing out ethnic people out of their native neighborhoods as more wealthy people come in to enjoy their culture. Have you ever wanted to know more about these issues in any specific neighborhood in Chicago, but didn't know where to start? Get our app to know what the current climate of the neighborhood is at your fingertips. So the first thing we have in our home screen is the definition of gentrification, which you can read by clicking the question mark button. We also have buttons for the neighborhood information, as well as maps and comments. When we click the neighborhood information button, it takes us to another screen where the user can read about the neighborhood's history, as well as what's currently going on as far as being gentrified. At the bottom of that screen, we also have another button that takes the user to another website and allows them to read more about that specific neighborhood.
A big part of our app is helping support local businesses, so it's important to make them as easy for the user to find. One way we're achieving this is our map. First, it has a picker view that zooms in into the neighborhood that you choose. Then you're shown the pins from a list of select local businesses which we can grow and add to over time. Alongside the map, we also have a list of all the local businesses. Tapping one brings up information such as their address, phone number, and a brief description of what they are.
We would also like to implement a QR code feature in the future to make it easier to go to a specific neighborhood. QR codes will be posted up in different neighborhoods and lead directly to the respective map view. These will serve as a guide for any outsiders who want to learn about the neighborhood but might not necessarily live in it. For every neighborhood, there's also a comment section that is designed to let the user give a brief review or rating of the specific neighborhood. We want the users to feel like they're free to share different types of information, ranging from how gentrified they believe the area to be, or even just sharing comments about a mural in the neighborhood that they liked. This is to make this a more community-oriented app, where we're ultimately only providing information and not pushing users to a specific conclusion.
We're really in a unique spot in the app marketplace right now. There's no one else like us. Learning about the neighborhoods in your city has never been this easy. So if you love supporting your local communities but don't know where to start with all the research, then this is the app for you. Thank you. Any questions?
All right, awesome. We'll open up to questions now. Natalie has a nice comment saying, as somebody who was affected by gentrification, this app is very touching and brings awareness in an approachable and productive way, which I couldn't agree more.
Thank you.
And Jocelyn over on YouTube says, great idea, and gives you a round of applause.
Thank you.
Again, if any judges have any questions, feel free to use your mics as well.
I don't have a question, but you said something that I think was really important, that the goal of your app wasn't to sway someone's their view one way or the other, but to share information. And I think that that is so huge and so important, because that opens up your audience. If that was your goal, to sway one way or the other, you'd be kind of pigeonholing yourself to people who agree with you. And I think it's really important that you all recognized that we have to be open in order to get to learn new ideas, and the idea of making it communal, I think, is really awesome too. So really great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Natalie asks, who will be able to add information to this app, users or developers?
So when it comes to the comments, those will be users will be able to add to that. So if they see, like we said, the murals or some local shop that they like, they can comment there. But as far as which local businesses show up on the map and the list, that would be developer made. So that would be a select list, so we can make sure that it's actual local businesses and stuff like that.
Awesome. And then Sarah asks, how have you identified the neighborhoods to add, and will you go broader than Chicago?
So right now, we only have the 3 neighborhoods that we picked. That was just simply because of time restraints. We would love to have as many neighborhoods in Chicago as possible, and of course beyond that, the rest of the country. Just for the scale of the 6 weeks, we did stick to just the 3 as an example.
Yep. Awesome. Great. All right. And then now we'll move on to our final and last group. This app is called Jav, and it's a mental health app. So I'll throw it over to them when they're ready.
All right. Good afternoon and welcome to our app pitch. My name is Alexis and my teammates are Brian and Emily. Our app name is Jav. So what is Jav? Jav is an app made to help people who struggle with mental health. We made this app so people could find help easier for the mental issues. Jav was made to make the user feel like family because we understand that this is a serious problem and people can't face it without support. That is why we're here to help in whatever way we can. Our mission in Jav is to spread peace, love, and positivity to help improve people's mental health.
Brian, you're muted.
Sorry about that. This is the reason. Can we start over?
You can go back a slide.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Nah.
Alexis, if you want to go back a slide.
How do you do that? Like
the back arrow.
Oh, the back arrow. All right. Yeah, I'm hitting it, but it's not going back.
Sorry, I think we're having some technical difficulties.
You may have to try the back arrow and hold FN at the same time.
FN?
Yeah, so FN, it's going to be in the bottom left corner of your screen. Hold that and the back arrow. Try that. And if that doesn't work, you may just exit out of your presentation and go back to the slide you want and then play from there.
Yeah, that works as well.
No, it's not working.
Try escape.
Escape?
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. Okay. And then just scroll up to the slide you want and then play from there.
All right. Well, I already said my part, so you want to start over. Is it okay with you guys?
It's fine.
Sure, okay. I'll just start it. Okay, so good afternoon. My name is Alexis, like I said, and my teammates are Brian and Emily. Our app's name is Jav. So Jav is an app made to help people who struggle with mental health. We made this app so people could find help easier for the mental issues. Jav was made to make the user feel like family because we understand that this is a serious problem and people can't face it without support. So that's why we're here to help in whatever we can. Our mission at Jeff is to spread peace, love, and positivity to help improve people's mental health.
Now, when you first open the app, you'll be greeted by a sign-in screen. When you sign in, you will see 4 different icons. The first one will be the chat. The second one will be the resources. Third will be the breathing exercises. And last but not least, the motivational quotes. When you open up the chat, you'll be taken to a room where you'll be able to talk to other people on the app and professional volunteer therapists. Next is the resources. Here you can see 3 different icons. The help centers will be first, second are the therapists, and lastly will be the suicide lifeline. When you open help centers, you will be greeted by a big old heart saying, "We're here to help you in any way we can." Here you will be able to search help centers by using a link that we have provided. Now, if you hop on over to the therapist, we have provided a different link that will take you to a website where you'll be able to search therapists near you. We have also added the suicide help lifeline. If you want to check their website, in case you want to check out their website, or if you think that you're in a dark place, please don't hesitate to call them. There will also be some breathing exercises here to help you calm down. And if you feel like checking out more, we provided a link for that. Lastly, is the motivational quotes. Here you can randomly generate a quote to try and boost your morale.
One of the quotes that really stood out to us the most was by Brené Brown. She says, "You're imperfect and you work for struggle, but you're worthy of being loved and belonging." So we think that this is like a model for us because we don't want to discriminate anybody. We want to help everyone who has a mental health problem.
Compare, contrast. The difference between our app and other app is that our app is free and we don't rush our healing. And in other apps, you have to pay to get the full access into the app. And when I download apps, they had really bold colors that really didn't excite me. It didn't make me feel calm. Also, keep in mind that not a lot of people are able to afford the full purchase for the app. And that's why we wanted to make our app free.
All right, thank you for your time. Any questions?
All right, awesome. Great job, guys. So Natalie has a comment. She says, "I would recommend adding titles to the icons."
Yeah, I mean, basically we started off with titles, but we decided it would be more like creative if we added like some icons to make it like more like kind of like more can you answer that, Brian? Because you came up with the idea.
I added the icons so it will be more visually appealing and easier to remember.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think
I
that was
definitely
great.
like the icons, but I think it would in my opinion, the interface would benefit from both having a name and an icon.
Sarah says, "I love the idea and the design is definitely soothing. How will people learn about you and this app?" So how will people learn about the app?
Good question. We'll try to like spread the word, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's pretty good.
I think one way to start is to kind of narrow down like who you think this app would be the most useful for. And then based on that, I think that would help you kind of navigate what would the best ways to market your app would be. So for example, young people around, your age, social media, for example, is one great way to cater to young people. That's just an example.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks. We'll probably
Natalie and Sarah, your comments bring me to the question that I had. I really like how you all added the quotes. So when I was thinking as you were talking, what if you could take those quotes and they were graphical and then you could share them to social media? So imagine those being stories on Instagram that people are adding. That's some way to drive people to your app. I think it is important to know who your audience is though. So if you're looking for young adults and teens, You have to figure out what social media would work best and then how to get to that point, right? So you all know, like maybe you all don't use Facebook, right? That may not be your target audience if you're not looking for families or people that may be older. So thinking about who your target audience is probably going to be your first step. But I really like the quotes a lot. I think that's an important piece. And I like that you all had different options, just so that, because mental health, everyone deals with it differently. So being able to have multiple options, I think is important. And I just want to tell you all, Brian, I do this all day on a Zoom call or a WebEx, and I always forget to unmute myself. So it's okay. It happens. It's new for everyone. You all are so brave for doing this, and especially doing it in a virtual environment. So you all did a great job. I just want to make sure I let you know that happens to me all the time, and I do it all day. But great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. So that was our last group, but now I'd like it to open it up to our entire all 5 groups, open up discussion and see. I want you guys to talk about your experience learning how to code in Xcode and learning how to build apps in throughout these 6 weeks. So if you could stop sharing your screen, Angel, so we can have it. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, so if anyone would like to start, unless you guys want me to pick somebody, just to hear about what your experience was like. I know we have a wide range of people with different experience in coding. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Emily.
My experience, I was in it last year, so I kind of knew some of it. I kind of didn't remember on top of my head. It was I would kind of stress out in the beginning because I wouldn't remember from last year, and I would stress out and overthink myself and wanted to like give up halfway, but I didn't, and I pushed myself to learn and get till the end, and it happened.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people share the same thing. I know whenever I take a break for summer, I always forget what I learned the last semester of school. So I think people share that same opinion.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I'm wondering about like, so this experience for the first time was fully remote, right? And I'm wondering like, what was that experience like for you? And, you know, what were some of the like, what did you really like about that? Like, what were the strengths of being remote, maybe not together in person, right? And what were those times or those moments where you wish you could have been together to like work through something? To help us think about like, you know, what are ways that we can continue to make this even better for you?
Daniela, if you want to go, and then anyone can go after her.
Yeah, I was in the program last summer too. I was in person, and this whole online thing, like virtually, was a really different experience. But something that I really enjoyed from here is that, well, last year we would like always have one computer, and we would like trade like turns. We'd be like, okay, so this from this time to this time you have this time to work on the code, and then from this time to this time you have this time to work on the design. But what I liked here is that like you can download the zip file and send it to everybody else, and everybody can work in it at the same time. Although something that I would really like, I would wish that would actually happen was that for them to see it in person instead of having it to download and then send them to them again, or even just share your screen.
So
Jose, did you want to say? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Question for Danielle. I wanted to clarify. When you say you're sharing, you're talking about your Kino or the Xcode project?
The Xcode project.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's challenging. There's something called GitHub. I don't know if you all have ever used it or you're familiar with it. Do you know, are you familiar with it?
Yeah, we used it last year.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know if that lets you edit in real time. I don't think it does. It's the same process of downloading. So I understand that part is challenging, but even still, I looked at some of you all's code. It's still very impressive that you all were able to do this virtually.
Thank you.
Be proud.
Follow
Jose,
up
did you want to say something?
Oh yeah, no, go for it.
Oh, whoever. Jose, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is my first time actually like learning coding through like a class of some sort, and it was really fun. I was a little bit behind at the beginning because I got here like 3 days late, but through Joel and the way that he recorded Zoom classes and everything, it made it really easy to catch up in just like 1 to 2 days. But yeah, it was really fun, and I really enjoyed it.
So the next question that I have about that is like, you know, in your groups, right? What were like the best ways that you worked together? You know, how did you build community among yourselves to like really make this a project that everybody owned and that everybody was able to work on and present? And like, what were the things that made that super effective for you?
Oh, well, I can speak for my group if nobody else wants to talk. But for my group, I feel like something that really helped us was like give each other like a title, like what their job was or their task was. So like some would be working on the code and others would be working on the sign. But eventually everybody helped one another. It's like at the beginning, yeah, it was kind of difficult because we didn't really know each other. It was like our first time meeting each other. But yeah, like giving the tasks for each other was very beneficial for our group.
I'm in the same group as Daniela, and I feel like what helped us was Daniela, like we took it upon ourselves to create a group chat, like using our real numbers, and we just kept updating each other, and we're like, hey, like, when do we go to lunch, or like, when do we come back, or we'll be like, oh, we need to get this done today, and we'll work on this tomorrow. And I feel like that's how our communication skills like came through, and they like really grew as well, because we kept each other in check all the time.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys. Does anyone else have anything else to say? Any other groups? Or any final thoughts? Well, I have some final thoughts that I could contribute to. So this is my first time teaching anything at all. First, I am a student. So before, I never thought I would be a teacher. But when this opportunity came, I couldn't help but think what a great opportunity it was, because when I was in high school, we didn't really have anything like this. For me to learn computer science, I had to actually go to a completely different high school in a completely different neighborhood across the city. And being from the South Side, I never saw any opportunity like this. So when I had the chance to be a part of it, I didn't hesitate. And I instantly knew that's what I wanted to do, even though I have never taught anything before in my life. And I just can't help but think this is such a great experience to learn from. As both a student and a teacher, learning from the CECSE during their workshop at the beginning of this year. That was an amazing opportunity that I don't think I would have gotten. And again, during these 6 weeks, learning about myself and about all these other youths and how hardworking they are was just an unforgettable experience, and definitely the highlight of my summer. And then I don't know if Angel has anything else to say. My co-host.
I mean, I'm probably going in the same boat as Joel. I barely recently learned coding, following probably like 3 years ago. So I'm still roughly new. And I'm like learning 3 different languages, Swift, Python, and C++. So just for different projects. But I was happy that I was accepted into this program to become, you know, an instructor or a coach or what have you with CESE. So, and I was excited to be in the boot camp as well. And, you know, I was in school and I would drive from school all the way to where the program was at. So, and it was definitely worth it in the long run. And then, you know, going virtual still made it happen. And it was more rewarding for me to see how far the youth have came. And I'm happy that a lot of them did pull through, because I know it was difficult. And I always, just to remind them again that I mean, Emily touched about it earlier that she wanted to give up, and that's fine. That's normal. It happens. And don't remember that what you're capable of now and what you did this summer, apply it again. Always remember what you're capable of. Remember your capabilities. So I'm really proud of what everyone did, and I'm extremely happy that I was able to spend my summer with everyone. So thank you for that.
Okay. Thank you for those kind words, Angel. So thanks again to the judges. Thanks to everyone that joined us in the YouTube Live, all the family members and friends. Thank you to the Sayre family for coming through and really showing up. And then once again, thank you for the judges for taking the time out to come see our apps. And then we're gonna close out with a group photo. So if everyone can turn on their cameras and I'll give us a countdown. Oh. All right, awesome. So everyone say cheese on 3. 1, 2, 3, cheese. All right, awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks everyone for joining us. We're gonna stick around here. We'll see everyone soon, hopefully. Again, thanks for taking the time out, guys. An awesome job to the students.